Let's start.
Yeah. After 40 years, you returned to Chile. 40 years. Yeah. Do you have any special memories of that last time in Chile?
Also, do you see the shield in the background?
Yeah, I see.
It's since the last time. It's from our fan club from Chile.
Oh, great.
And I see it every day, and I remember Chile every day. I can tell you that this is a place I always look, also because of the plants, and I need to water them and everything. So I'm looking there like nearly every day. Okay, when I'm here. So what can I remember? I remember great hospitality. I remember an amazing show that was some kind of loud, like hell, like because people were singing all of the melodies. I remember
Now,
I was eating a national dish, but I don't know how it the name of it. I remember that I think it was in Santiago de Chile. We wanted to make a photo of a certain place, a statue or a painting, and the
okay.
police came and they told us we are not allowed because this cannot be like you cannot do any photos of this place. Honestly, I don't know, but there were police telling us that we cannot take photos of this that is forbidden. Like it was like that like 14 years ago. Okay, so I don't,
Oh,
I
okay.
cannot, I cannot. I don't know if it's still like that. Yes, and I remember having a good time in Chile. This is
Great.
what I clearly remember.
Well, we are a very special public, you know. So, Asis, tell us, what do you expect from this next show in my country?
You know what I learned? That all of my expectations got blown away completely. So I know that it's going to be amazing just to be there. Okay, just because the memories we have and the people that we're in contact. I mean, I'm in contact with the people with the fans from Chile since 1997 or 98. They were writing us letters by hand, like they're real letters, and I have them in a folder. I don't throw away any letter that I get. Also nowadays, I don't throw away anything. So I to expect that's a huge question because of course I can tell you like, hey, we expect to have a great show and we expect to have like a blast partying. Of course we will. I know this. And hopefully we will give the people what they desire, and also like having a party with us, and also we like we want to take the time just to be there for the fans in the how can I say, in as much as our possibilities are. Like also we of course we need to fly the next day and prepare and stuff like that, but definitely I really want to have the time to like to not just go and play a concert and go again, just also to stay in communication with the fans and to meet them. And so I know that all my expectations after are a lot just blown away.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
it will be amazing, and I cannot expect so much like it will be. This is what I know, because it's simply that people are supporting us so much. I don't want to tell you the standard interview stuff like this week.
But that's cool because it's kindness of your part.
Hey, it's very clear. It's very clear. Haggard in all parts of the world can only be as strong as the fans are, because only when you have fans that support you, you can do shows in other countries. And there are two ways to approach this. There are bands who think like, hey, okay, I'm playing such a great music, so the fans are there. It's very clear. And I think that you can play as good music as you want, but only if there are fans supporting you, you really can do what we do. Because imagine we're gonna play now 24 shows. 24. It's not like 2. It's not 3. It's not
No.
around the corner. here in Europe. It's meters far or more far. This is like something that so many bands desire, you know, like so many bands want to do this, okay, but they cannot, because, you know, like we have the fans, the supporters, the promoters. Of course, it's relevant when you have like a team. Like now, I have 16 people with me, like including all the crew. Of course, it's necessary that you have people at the show, you know, like, and this is what I'm very grateful for, because it's not for granted.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful story because, okay, you have a long story as a band. Haggard is one of the cornerstone of metal worldwide. And as we know, at first you played death metal, and then you have a radical change in style with your first studio album. So, Asis, how did you come to the decision to evolve your sounds towards symphonic metal?
Well, I don't know if you listened to a demo tape of 1995. It's called "Once Upon a December's Dawn." I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, yes.
And it's already with classical music. The thing is, we were starting as some kind of progressive death metal band, and at some point of I had the feeling that you cannot avoid stagnation. That you know, that you can be more progressive, you can be more aggressive or less or whatever, but you're in your boundaries. And I was thinking about, okay, what can I change? And from I don't know, 15, 16 on, I started to listen to classical music. We learned it at school, like about the classical composers and everything. But in the end, you need to be some kind of mature, like, you know, if your parents don't come out, you know, like when your parents are into classical music, then you get connected to it as a child. And it's different. But my parents were not connected to classical music, and I was learning in school something about, you know, the standard things like Mozart and Beethoven and I don't know what, but later I started to find my love for classical music, for medieval music, for all of these different epochs and styles, and I was thinking, like, it was 1994. I was thinking about to, you know, like, hey, we need to change something. And then it wasn't. Maybe it was some kind of radical to include the classical music or the classical musicians into Haggard. It was very different. Let me say it like this: it was very different, and we recorded the "Once Upon a December's Dawn" promo tape. And I thought, like, okay, if the classical music should have the lead and should be on top, the metal music must to have some kind of supportive character. It must be some kind of supportive, because you have a lot of bands that mix metal with classical music, like equal 50% of the music. So this is not what I wanted. So I took back the metal music, like, not, you know, not taking it back from the sound perspective, just from the supportive character. You have to see it like this. These are two weights of a scale. Okay, you put the death metal and the guitars and the drums on the one side, and you take the soprano and the tenor and the choir and the orchestra on the other side. Well, if I would change the death metal vocals to clean vocals, it will not be like in some kind of, it will not be even anymore. You know, like it will not have the balance that I personally love when we play, that it has some kind of balance. You have classical parts, but then you have the death metal again. So it's some kind of roller coaster, up and down. And what is completely important are dynamics. It's just for me as a musician, artist, composer, I found out that this kind of dynamics, also on low levels, just prepare the the kick in your face when the metal sets in again and stuff like that. Okay, so particularly that's it. You can be powerful, but then you need to make space for the other, for the classical music, and then classical music can be powerful. It needs to take itself down, and then the metal music comes again. So it's some kind of taking and giving, some kind of. You can explain it like that. So you cannot be 100% on your instrument because this is like what you like in Haggard you cannot be. Of course it would be possible, but then our musical style would be completely different.
Yeah,
I can do metal section all the time, but then I don't need real classical musicians, but I have real classical musicians. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, I feel very privileged to work and to play with these musicians in a band, and I want to have them the possibility to shine. Okay, everybody should shine, but it's like a dynamic play, some kind of.
Okay, Asis, and how do you achieve a musical career of that magnitude with a style as complex as a metal and with so many members in the band?
The people were always telling me it's not working. Like, and when we wanted to get a record deal in 1995 and 96, well, 95 I think it was. So many record companies told me like, Asis, it's not possible. You cannot do this with classical musicians. You cannot tour because everything will be like damn expensive, and nobody wants to have. This requires a certain PA, and this requires a certain equipment. Blah blah blah. The thing is that they did not know nothing about this. Also had this vision of doing this constantly, and there were record companies saying, "Hey, we can do one CD." In this lineup, and after that you need to use like synthesizer. I was, what the fuck, like synthesizers? I want to use musician. I mean, I want to play with musicians. They are not one external part of Haggard. These are like we're one intersection. Like we're woven together. This is one band, and not a metal band with whatever partially classical musicians. And this was the 90s, in the middle of the 90s, and they did not fucking understand, and they were like, yes, but no, this is not possible. And then I was asking to a guy. We had a meeting with a record label called Last Episode, so a German label, and he said, "Hey, Asis, you do what you believe in, and I'm going to support you." And then it happened, and we did the first CD, and well, the rest is clear how it went. But what I didn't understand is that people that clearly had no clue. Well, they were bosses of record companies doing like metal bands, or only metal bands. Well, in 1995, it was not very popular to do like mixtures or combinations like we did. Today, it's very common. Every band is having a violin or having a flute or having whatever. There's a death metal, pagan metal, black metal band, and they're working with classical instruments. That's fine. That's fucking awesome.
Yes.
Like I got asked yesterday.
It's more niche today.
No, the thing is that if the fans love it, that's good for the fans.
Yes.
And if the bands play with classical musicians, that's a good experience for the bands as well. This is fun for the bands as well. I mean, there is nothing like a protected musical style. If a band wants to do it, they should do it. And I'm very happy that today is more common to play with orchestral music or classical music or sopranos in bands or female fronted or however this band is constructed. There's a lot more freedom. It's not so. I'm playing death metal only, and I'm playing black metal only, and I'm playing power metal only, and I play grindcore only, and I play whatever only.
It's more fluid.
these are, it's fluently, yes, but this is what's cool. If the bands are good, it doesn't matter if they only play this style or this style. I mean, everything gets more progressive and gets more extreme. Also, more. The productions get a lot better nowadays compared to let's say the 90s or the 2000s. I clearly respect that, because if a band wants to have a violin, they should have a violin. That's good. When you're orchestra musicians, you know, you're playing in an orchestra, somebody asks you, hey, do you want to play in the church? Next Saturday we play one requiem, or we play whatever in the classical environment, in the orchestra environment. It's very common to just meet for one show, and then, you know, also there's no competition or like, hey, no, I'm playing in this orchestra, I'm not allowed to play there. So of course, there are musicians who are getting hired to play in an orchestra as a job and stuff like that. This is different, but I see a lot of chamber orchestras, and people of this chamber orchestra and this, they play together in another orchestra doing only very old music, like traditional old music, and everything gets mixed, and I think it's good.